my gross table that I can't get to focus for anything. So it's gonna be really interesting stream when I can't like focus what dice are in front of me. But we're gonna paint some stuff today. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put some captions in here real quick. Okay, so I know how to use slabs. It's great. This is fine. Everything is cool. Except I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Alright, cool. Okay, I have captions now. This is what I needed. Okay, so I have approximately a million different colors of paint to work with today because I stole a bunch from my fiance, Mr. Puddins. Not Mr. Putin's, Mr. Puddins! Ah! That didn't even make it any better. Alright, so I've got some sets today that I polished, and I have, oh, let's see how many sets I have. Okay, so I have, oh, this one's already painted. So I have a very cool, fire looking set, where it's got some orange and yellows and blacks. Again, this is really hard to focus on. So I'm really sorry for the stuff that's out of focus. Hi Sam! Welcome, welcome, welcome. But I really like this set because it like changes every way you turn it. Oh, this one's a little bit easier to focus, but yeah, you can see here like it's got some blacks, but then when you look at it from other angles, it looks like burning embers, and I'm super into that. So I've got that set to paint today. I have not, I have not quite decided what color I'm going to paint everything. I also have this set where it's got some gorgeous red foil around the black. And if you can kind of see, let's see if I can find it. Yep. This one's got the heck on it. Maybe. I tried 3 different cameras to try to get everything to focus right, and I think just because I'm like so close to it, I don't think I can. And I'm not sure what to do about my webcam. Well, see, look, it focuses on my hand fine. This is just kind of what we're gonna have to deal with. So I've got that gorgeous red and black one to work with as well. And then I have this, oh, this one's actually already painted, but I'll show it off anyway. So I got so excited with this one. Oh, thank you. I got so excited with this one that I actually painted it like immediately after I finished it. This one's I am struggling so hard with this focus. It's like this is the point, is to watch the dice, and it's hard to see anything. Oh, maybe. Okay. But so this set I don't need to do. I do have another set of it that needs to get painted, but I think I also need to polish it first. Also, I have new bags now, and they're not getting sent out in sandwich bags anymore. Yeah, that's this is the roller rink set. Roller rink. But I also have this set that I made this is the most recent pour that I did, and it's like a bluish greenish like watery color with some gold, actually rose gold. It's kind of hard to tell on here, but that's actually rose gold. The color's not great with this webcam. And this is the better webcam. I stole this one from Mr. Puddins. Don't tell him, because I need to put it back before he notices I took it when I get home from work. So, I actually think this might be the set that I start out with today painting these. I really am. I love how these look, but I don't know what color to make them. With clear sets like this, I find that like a darker color can really overtake the entire set, because let's see, so I can actually show you with this one. So this set, when I first poured these dice, they did not look this dark. They looked quite a bit lighter and a little bit greenish, like a blue-green, a little darker than what these are, but pretty close. And then once I added the purple, I feel like it really overtook the, it took a lot of that green out, and you get this blue is what you get. I don't think that's what I want to do to this set. I do love how they look though with the purple. Oh no, I dropped one! So yeah, I'm kind of just here to like talk about dice and paint a bunch of stuff and get some stuff done, because my shop is opening for restock on Friday. So I need to get some stuff done, and I figured I might as well hang out and talk to people. So I've got this one, definitely gonna ink these today. But then, if the dice sounds are too loud from me like dropping them everywhere, please let me know. I'll put like a mouse pad or something down. But I've also got this set, which also looks like fire. They're a little different than my other fire set though. So you can see them next to each other. So this one is a mixture of mica powder, or mica powder, however you pronounce it, and clear resin. So this one has some areas of translucency, but also some areas of that golden shiny mica powder stuff. And then this one is translucent resin for the most part, and then a little bit of black, which I get using charcoal because I feel like it gets the blackest black, but that was before I got mica powder, so I might actually switch to doing a black mica for that. But I think I'm going to start these out because I know I want to ink these in black, actually. I was thinking about red or yellow, but I felt like that might disappear into the rest of the dye just because it is red and yellow. So I think we're going to start with that with black, but I will do a where did I put my water? There it is. Okay. So we're going to start with black, and so the brushes that I use aren't anything fancy. They're not mini painting brushes per se, they're just kind of small. And that's because you don't need to get too small when you're inking dice, because you're just kind of gonna glob it up in there. And yeah, just wipe away whatever's left of the foam. That's kind of it. So I've got a nice pearlescent black that I think will look nice on this. I don't think I have to dip into Alex's or Mr. Puddin's stuff quite yet. But I will need something to mix my paint on. Okay. I really should have grabbed a paper plate. Yeah, we're gonna grab a paper plate because I don't want to make a mess on everything. We're back. music. I'm trying out that Twitch soundtrack thing, and I don't know. I would say it's working pretty well in my personal opinion. So I'm gonna see if maybe I can move this so you can see what I'm doing with the paint. So I've got like just regular acrylic paint that I picked up when I found it on sale at frickin' Ross, I think. But this is a thicker paint, and the Alec and Mr. Puddin's paints that I borrow are his like mini paints, his army painter paints, and those are really thin, so I don't need to thin those out, but I do actually prefer a bit of a thicker paint because then you can thin it out to your liking. I find that when I ink dice, if the paint is too thin, I have to do more layers of the paint in the numbers, and I like being able to just do one layer, so I like it to be a little bit thicker, not like super thick, but just a little bit. So let's start with the 4. Now this is probably my favorite D4 that I've ever made, because it looks like it's a freaking fireball. Like, I almost don't want to sell this one, but I know I'll never replicate it, and it's so pretty. Alright, so yeah, literally just lob it in there. Oh, actually, I think I thinned out too much. I can add a little bit more paint. But yeah, you just a little bit of water in there, and nice acrylic paint. That's all it is. But my thumb is gonna be a mess after all of this, because that's all I do is I just move it up, because I like being a little closer to myself when I paint. Yeah, we're gonna put a little bit more paint in here. It's a little too thin for my liking. Well, I hope I have to do something else in black. Yeah, these are just crappy paintbrushes. These aren't nice or anything. Because like I said, you're really just kind of just lob it in. It's a lot easier, I find, actually on the smaller numbers, because it takes less paint to get in there, and so it won't like cling to the edges, which it'll sometimes do. It'll just like, you'll get a little bit of a concave in there because it just clings to the edges, and it doesn't actually fill it when it's so big and deep like this. Show you on the smaller ones once I get to like my numbers are all pretty big, but once I get to like the D12, D20, D100, I guess, percentile die. Let me see what I mean. And I am trying to keep an eye on chat, so if you have any questions about like making dice or what I'm doing or how I do what I do, please feel free to ask. I love talking dice. The only questions I don't like answering are when people are like, oh, are your dice balanced? Because it's very like, you wouldn't ask that of Chessex, right? You wouldn't ask that of, you know, any mass-produced dice. Why would you ask that of something that's handmade? Because, like, yeah, there are easy ways to tell. There's, like, you could put it in some salt water to check if your dice are balanced. Like, you can do that, but I can assure you that the factory is not checking to make sure that your dice are balanced before they send it out to you. Like, these, like, it's really not that important in my Plus, the only thing I've heard about my dice is that they roll really well. So if anything, I'm balancing them in your favor by accident. Alright, this one, I'm gonna call this one good for now. I might go over it again, but so yeah, you can see here on this D100 here, I can't decide where my hands want to be. So yeah, we're gonna start on the D100 here. So you can see that these numbers are a lot smaller than they are on like the D4. So we're gonna, the light's a little weird here. I just want you to be able to see me. Can't tell if that focus is better or... Nope, that's a lot worse. Okay. Just want this to be a nice viewing experience. That's what I want. Oh, there we go. That's focused. Okay. So yeah, you can... We're gonna... And yeah, you could just, like, literally, I make a huge mess. Because I'm just gonna wipe it off anyway. And I've got, like, my little paper towel over here. That's, of course, under a ton of stuff, so... Yeah, and, like, if you know, you still got lots of ink that's on the face, or, you know, your thumb didn't do a good enough job, you can just use the paper towel to wipe it off onto, like... That's all. Though I do find that that sometimes does take off a little too much ink, so I don't do that too much, but... But yeah, I think the black looks really cool on these. Yeah, I'm really digging the black. And then the nice thing about the acrylic paint is, like, when I polish these dice, like, the sides are so smooth that the paint isn't gonna stick to it. Like, inside the numbers, it's not that smooth. It's got little, like, bridges, really, from when my masters were 3D printed. So the paint will cling onto that, but it's not going to cling onto these polished faces. So even if there's a little bit left after it's dried, it's very, very easy to just either, you know, just scratch it off with a fingernail, or if it's being a little more stubborn, sometimes I'll take some rubbing alcohol to it and just kind of wipe it off with that. Last restock, Alex, Mr. Puddins actually helped me paint quite a few of my dice because I was working with some dice that I had made using old molds, and the molds were not as good as my new molds, so they took a lot more work to polish and sand down and everything, just because I was not very good at it. And it was at that point where I was just like, you know what, these are good enough. I've wasted enough money on silicone. I'm just gonna make dice with these and call it a day. And so I did, but they took like a lot of work after I was done with them. Because pouring's the really fun part. You get to do a whole bunch of cool stuff, and then, you know, then you get to demold the next day, and it's so exciting to just pop the dice out and be like, oh, let's see what I made, because I don't use clear molds, and even if you do use clear molds, they're translucent at best, and you can kind of see through them enough to like give you an idea of what you're doing, but you can't see through them enough to like, you know what it's gonna look like when it comes out. You can just kind of, you know, peep and see that your colors are right and that you're filled up all the way. But I use the let's see if I can pull some out. So this is the color I use when it comes to making silicone, and when I use when I make molds with silicone, and actually you can see if I pull out the other one. Are these the same one? Yeah, they are. Okay, so it's a little dirty just because I was cleaning out my desk with all my resin and stuff, and I haven't washed these. But I actually do a 2-part mold that has all my dice in it. Ooh, where's the key? So I do a 2-part mold that has all my dice in it, and I know it's easier for me that way. And it takes up, hi Space Rose! And hi Chris, this is, welcome to Dice and Chill, the art of dice, the joy of dicing with Abby Ross. So I use 2-part molds. I used to use sprue molds, but then I was turned on to 2-part molds by, I believe it was Steph Sharp on Twitter. She's fantastic. She does great work, and yeah, I think she was the one that turned me on to ventless cap molds, which are 2-part molds. That's what I use. They don't have sprues, they don't have vents, so the dice actually come out looking very clean. And they take the least amount of cleanup out of all the other stuff I've tried, but they're definitely harder to make than sprue molds, and because they're 2-part, you can't know if you did okay on the first part until you've done the entire thing. Yes, squish molds and cap molds are the same thing. They're just 2-part molds, where, see, and I don't have any sprue molds anymore because I dropped some stuff. I don't have any sprue molds anymore. I think I actually might have one, because I gave away my old molds to, you know, someone who wanted to learn how to make dice and everything. Molds are honestly the hardest, the hardest part about starting to make dice is the fact that you need the molds, and they can be prohibitively expensive when you get into it, because my first set of molds was actually a set that I got. It was like that Wish set of dice molds where it's, I didn't realize it when I bought them, but after I bought them I could tell that they were very obviously copies of, like, it was the same font, same shape and everything as Dispel Dice, and it is a font that's available for commercial use and everything. It's not Dispel Dice's font, but it still just doesn't feel right to me to sell them when they look exactly like Dispel Dice's, so I didn't keep those. And I didn't sell any of the dice I made with them. That was like when I was practicing and I made some friends some dice just to practice and everything. But okay, so I do have this little It's a sprue mold, but I don't use it. It's for my D4, and this was when I was prototyping my D4, so this isn't actually the same D4 that I have now. But so that's one piece, and you peel it apart and pull out the dye that's inside, but it's a little more difficult to put in like inclusions because it's such a small opening. So now I use these cap molds, squish molds, and so one face goes on one side and then the rest go in there, and they just go into each other, and I don't know, it works. But I've got actually okay, so what resin do I use? So I use Amazing Clear Cast by Alumilite, and I'm actually an affiliate, so I will drop my affiliate link for them in the chat in a bit. But I've used their resin ever since I started. I've never had a problem with it. If I have had a problem, it's probably because I didn't mix the resin enough, which I'm apt to do because I'm lazy. So the only problems I've ever had with like my silicones and my resins really has been user error. But I really like Alumilite Amazing Clear Cast because I've never had any problems with it curing. It says it cures in 24 hours, but I find that it cures hard enough for me to demold after like 12-ish hours, which means that I can, you know, maybe I could pour, if I really needed to make a ton of dice, I could pour a set in the morning and pour a set at night. But what I like to do is I just like to pour a set at night, and then I go to bed and get really excited because in the morning I get to demold some more dice. So that's what I do. But yeah, I use Alumilite, Amazing Clear Cast, and I usually buy them off of Amazon, but they do have, you can buy them directly from their website, which is what my affiliate link is for. But it's a, you know, 2-part epoxy that you mix part A, part B, and then that causes a chemical reaction, which causes the curing. And it comes out very clear every time. I've never had a problem with it yellowing, which is nice. Yes, I do use a pressure pot. I did not when I first started, but I was really tired of finding all those bubbles in my finished dice. They really didn't affect the usability of the dice because the little micro bubbles that you'll get, I don't know, for me at least, they tended to be pretty evenly dispersed, so it didn't affect like the balance or anything. But I just didn't like the way that they looked, especially since I wanted to start experimenting with more translucent dice. So I did end up buying a pressure pot, which I bought at Harbor Freight because they actually have the cheapest pressure pots that are able to find. That seems to be what everyone uses, is the Harbor Freight paint pot, and then it just takes a few modifications to turn it into a casting pot. And honestly, the biggest challenge I found with it is that the pressure pot has a concave bottom, and so it's not perfectly flat, so you need to put something in there, like a plate or something, or, you know, a little piece of, I use cake rounds. I buy poster board. I used cake rounds, but then I started buying poster board and just cutting my own. Foam core board, not poster board. Foam core board. Started using foam core board and just cutting out my own little, like, 9-inch rounds that I use. And I use like paper towel rolls to get full legs so I could stack them on top of each other. So now I have I think like 3 tiers that I can use. So I can do 3. Honestly, I could cast a lot more in there than molds that I'm willing to use right now. I usually make 2 sets and then a few extra dice. Sorry, I'm trying not to block the die as I ink it. I usually make 2 full sets and then a few spares of dice that I think I'm gonna screw up. Because I do screw up a lot of dice. So yeah. I do want to make some more molds, but I ran out of silicone. I just bought some more silicone, but I'm probably gonna wait until after Friday to do any more new stuff, because right now I just need to focus on getting some finished products ready and stocked in the shop. Alright, before I forget, I'm gonna get that Illumilite affiliate code. Oh yeah, and so I'm finding my affiliate link thing because I'm great at stuff. Where's my thing? Where's my link? There we go, okay. But actually this is, I'll post the link in there. So, you're gonna have to use that question mark, because then I don't know why it's posting like that. Where's the bit link? No, I don't want to make an account with I don't want to make But anyway, once I get this affiliate link in there, it's actually perfect timing because they're having a bunch of Black Friday deals. So I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, because I don't know what information for those deals is public quite yet, but they are doing a bunch of Black Friday deals, and you get extra money off for using an affiliate link. So yeah, if you like resin or want to mess with resin, save yourself some cash. I'm honestly probably going to be using my own affiliate link soon. chat box on the overlay as well, because that sounds fun, right? I got worried for a second that my chill music was going away. Oh, I'm so sorry. To hear that your numbers flaked, but yeah, you can just paint over them. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm super sorry about that. But yeah, you can just paint over them with some standard acrylic paint. The really cool thing. Oops. No, don't want that. The really cool thing about the Dragon Frost set actually is that so the holographic inclusions in that set pick up essentially whatever color you put in on the numbers as the ink, and I've done that set with purples, I've done it with blues, I think I've done it with green, and that base for it just picks up the color and the numbers so well, and it looks absolutely gorgeous and completely changes the color, like the whole look of the die just by changing what the color the numbers are. It's very, very cool. I mean, I'm sure it also helps that my numbers are quite large. Ooh, what color to use to match? That's a good question. What color did I use? Well, it depends, like, what paint you have, because those colors really, really can change from brand to brand. I think for that set, which one did Alex use? I'm pretty sure for that set he used Deep Blue by Army Painter. So I'm pretty sure that's the color. It's Deep Blue. Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. I'm just bummed that some of the paint came off of yours. Honestly, sometimes I think my numbers are... Oh, hi. Hi, Cat. What's up? You wanna come up? Wanna say hi to people? Petey wanted to say hi. So I think she's actually just gonna kind of hang out on my lap for a bit, which makes painting a little more difficult, but that's fine. It works for her. Yes, hi, I love you very much, but I also don't want your butt on my dice that I'm going to sell people for money. So down to let those sides dry so I can, so I don't smear anything later when I come back at it. I'm gonna do this set next. If anyone has any ideas for what color they should be inked, because I honestly have not decided. Maybe like a, maybe more rose gold, honestly. But I'm just gonna leave that here, so maybe you could think about it. And by the way, I still have my cat on my lap. You just can't see her. She's just chilling with us. Trying to make sure that you can see what's going on as I'm doing this, but my computer screen is off to the side of me, so I'm doing my best, I promise. I just don't have a lot of space. No, Petey, whatever you're chewing, please stop. No, what are you chewing on? Ah! And the cat left. It's okay, I was yelling at her for chewing on something. I hope that helps. And yeah, you can see already, like, I'm an absolute mess. be easier for you to see if I'm over here. Yeah. Just kind of gotta move with the light. So the black that I picked for this actually has quite a bit of gold, like glitter in it, and it's probably impossible to see on stream, but it does have some little like gold glitter in the black, so I think that I'm really hoping actually that it gets picked up after it's dried, because I think that'll complement the colors in the dice very well. And I'm probably gonna go over this with a second coat at some point. I don't know if I'll do that on stream though. I mean, I'll probably just like, that's boring stuff, so I won't, you don't need to see that. Alright, I think that's better caption-wise. I feel like it was very difficult to read before. The background was bad. Okay, that's better. That is a lot better. I also have no idea what microphone it's picking up on because it's not doing a very good job. Anyway. Eight's done. I'm gonna need to get some rubbing alcohol shortly. Clean up some of this. Or sometimes what I do is I just, I have like a little microfiber cloth, and I just kind of rub it across the faces of the die. Sunny D flavor. I mean, honestly, maybe. It's blood orange. Blood orange, so pretentious. Fucking red. That's an old meme. I'm just. That's an old meme. I just don't know what to talk about. I'm just chilling. And honestly, if I wasn't doing this, I don't know what I would be doing because I am all cut up on Game Grumps playing Danganronpa. And pretty much everything else that I'm watching with Mr. Puddins. And I don't want to watch without him, you know? I feel like that'd be rude. Is it still a meme? I'm honestly not sure. It's a meme forever in my heart. I think memes only die when people forget about them, so I'm keeping it alive. I appreciate you, Sim. Thank you for letting me know. Cooking 8 pies. That's a lot of pie. Ah, shit. Speaking of pie, I'm gonna have to dip out of the stream in a little bit because I gotta go pick up our Thanksgiving food from Boston Market. Because I am not cooking a full Thanksgiving meal for 2 people. Not happening. But I mean, I'm honestly very much enjoying just like hanging out. Boston Market potatoes, yes. Let's see, their mac and cheese is really good. I really like their mac and cheese. Oh, this one's a little wonky. There are a few instances where I'll break out a detail brush like this and, you know, be very, very careful, but it's really just with the 9 and the 6 because I want to make sure that they are distinct from each other. Because sometimes you can kind of lose.
I'll get straight to the point. I found marijuana in the house.
Found marijuana in the house. What the fuck? I hope you're all listening to the music because that's just what I heard. Cornbread ain't bad either. It's been a long time since I've had their cornbread. I don't know why I don't eat out at Boston Market more with how much takeout I get. I do love their stuff, and they actually give you vegetables, unlike most restaurants. Hey, I mean, Sim, if you make lo-fi chill beats, I will stream them for you. Lo-fi chill beats to Ink Dice 2. probably gonna finish this set before I run out. I'll probably continue when I get home, but I still have a ton more dice to polish too. It just takes forever. Plus I have to wear a dust mask when I polish, and I just didn't feel like wearing a dust mask on stream, so we're not gonna do that today. Okay, but I do think that that looks alright, that looks quite nice. Just put the camera on the cats and keep the stream up. I mean, honestly, they'd start the stream themselves. They've done it before. You know, the cats are better streamers than me, let's be real. I gotta say, this is like, it's kind of weird painting on stream because I like want you to be able to see what I'm doing and to like watch me paint, but normally when I paint I'm like right up here. I'm like right in my face like this, and that's just probably would not be very entertaining to watch. I think I'm definitely gonna do a second coat on this. I feel like it needs it. So yeah, after this set, I'll definitely have to run out, get my food. I've never done like a Thanksgiving meal kit thing before. Okay. Can we just appreciate how the black just like, oh, I love it. Oh, you can like it shines through. Though I guess black doesn't shine, but oh my god, that looks so sexy. Oh, I'm so into this. Okay. Sorry, this D10 looking hot as hell. God, I love it. It's so cool. I was worried that black would not be the right color for this. I think on the other fire ones I'm gonna do red. Like a really, really bright red. Because those are a little different than these. convinced that like more paint gets on me than it does on the dice. And let me just have this last d20. I'm actually going to switch paintbrushes for this one. The smaller numbers, I try to use a smaller brush. Like, I don't really use the smaller brush because I need to use it, I just use it because I feel like there's less paint wasted that way. I do actually have a question though for anyone who's out there. Do you prefer, like, when it comes to like your 6s and 9s, do you prefer them to have like a little dot next to it, or do you prefer them to have the line under it? And do you like having those on things where maybe there isn't a 9, like the D6 or your D8? Do you like having the little mark to let you know that it's still a 6 just to keep it consistent, or if there's no 9 on it, do you not see a point? You know? For consistency's sake, I put my little marker on all of them. There's my D8. I can show you on that one too. Yeah. And I just did that for, you know, consistency's sake. So these look a little dark right now. They look not great right now, but I think that's mostly because I've been touching them with my painty hands, and so there's like a really, you know, thin layer of like paint smudges on there that I need to wipe off. So we'll do that in a sec. I'll finish this one up. We'll wipe up, clean up those dice, and a nice final look at them, and then I will go get my Thanksgiving feast. You like the dot? I like the dot too. I feel like the line just takes up more space than it needs to. Whereas like with a dot, you don't really need to worry about that. It's just a little dot. Just a little like beep, beep. Little dot. Potentially make the dot a logo if you had a suitably small enough one. Yeah, probably could. My only problem with that is that I don't have my own 3D printer, and I rely on other people to 3D print my masters, and it's really hard to make sure, like I've worked with some really great people, but once you get a die, if your masters aren't printed correctly, you have to go back to them and be like, hey, they're not printed right, or there's, you know, something super, you know, minor, some detail that, you know, broke off or something, which you'll actually be able to see here in a little bit. So we've got our heck. Let's see if I can get it focused. So yeah, we've got a heck, but this was really, really difficult to get printed because There's actually supposed to be a little period at the end. Oh, it's there. It didn't get filled with ink. So this is very, very small, very thin letters, and it kind of looks like a neck a little bit, the way that I'm holding it, or the way that it's showing up at least. But this was very difficult, and actually the little dot inside the E fell off while I was working on it, so my E's don't have a little negative space on them, which is mostly my fault, but I've seen some people do like really, really intricate logos or very, very delicate logos on their dice faces, and they must have really good printers. I just don't have my own printer, so I rely on other people. And the worst part with masters is like, if you make a mistake on your masters, it's going to be on every single die you make, which is a lot of pressure to put on someone who's very clumsy and bad at most things. Enjoy your pie making! I'm sure they're gonna come out amazing. I appreciate y'all stopping by. This looks like a disaster. I can't wait to wipe the whole way. Okay. Dry. Let's make sure I got all my faces. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take... There we go. Sorry, I just wanted something without the vocals in it. So, I'm hoping these are dry. But we're just going to take... take a little microfiber cloth and I just wipe the sides, just clean the faces out. I can definitely see through this a little bit. I can definitely see through some of the paint. So I'm gonna come back later and do a second coat on these later. Once I get home. But honestly, I think these turned out really cool. And I'm always so worried about inking because I personally feel like it can really change the look of your dice, especially mine because I have large numbers. So I'm always really, really scared about inking, actually, because I don't want to screw it up. And I mean, because this is just acrylic paint, this can be easily soaked off in like rubbing alcohol or something. If I really, you know, hated the color I used. This is definitely my favorite out of all of them. Like, that just looks so nice. Looks cool as heck. Now I'm really excited to see how this D10 looks once I get all that gunk off of it. Honestly, some of this paint's still tacky, so I don't know if I should even be doing this right now. But, it's, I feel like that's so hard to see. It's like, I don't know. It looks way cool. It looks super cool in person. I'll have to take some pictures in my light box. Plus, there's still a little gunk on here that I can see coming off. So, this is definitely going to take another round of cleaning and another round of inking before they're ready to be sold. But that's okay. Here we have it. It took me an hour and a half, but I'm so excited about these. Yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna end that for now because I do need to run out. So I will possibly be back, probably not today, but possibly tomorrow, but definitely Friday. I'll be back with just dicing and chilling. Just inking and polishing and getting ready for stuff to go up in the in the store on Friday. So yeah, check it out. That's d8bitgaming.com. If you're interested, the stock will go up live around noonish on Friday. That is my plan, to have everything up and ready around lunchtime Central Time. I really don't want to have another repeat of last time where I got everything up on the store and the store went live at like 11 p.m. Central. But we're gonna go for noon Central. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed just coming and hanging out with me. This was fun. I was definitely not as productive as I was when I'm not doing it for an audience, but that's okay. I've got all of today and tomorrow, so I'm good. Alright. And yeah, with that, I'm gonna jump off. So thanks so much for hanging out with me.